What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Spider-Man No Way Home. My god, I cannot stop watching this trailer, which led me to make this additional video, which is my breakdown on what I think may or may not happen in the next trailer that we get maybe next month. So stick around after these opening titles, folks, and we'll get right into it. Okay guys, I'm just going back over to Sony's official channel, and this video has gotten, well, not this video, but the trailer for Spider-Man No Way Home has gotten 1.4 million likes, which is pretty awesome. But I thought I'd go through this trailer very quickly because I did some things on my initial reaction I didn't see until I've kind of watched things again and again, and I've heard a few tidbits from other places too. So this is thanks to Sony at CinemaCon in Las Vegas. So they kicked off the proceedings, and apparently what was great is that they kind of put the other major film studios to shame by announcing the fact that all their releases are theatrical only. There's no same-day streaming as a cinematic release, which I think is the way to go, not streaming at the same time, because it only encourages piracy, and that's how they lose money and subscriptions from other services. So here we go, guys. So we've seen this part already with Zendaya and Tom just sitting on the rooftop. I like that, and I like the Nikes he's wearing there as well, actually. I need to know what those are, so that's pretty awesome. Of course, this part here, it just reminds me a lot of Spider-Man Far From Home at the end, when Zendaya, or should I say MJ, doesn't like being swung through the city. I like the fact her hair is covering his eyes, so you can barely see where he's going. But he's got his Peter tingles, so, and I'll talk about Peter's Peter tingle in a short while, funny enough. But yeah, I mean, because Zendaya said she didn't like doing this particular stunt, so the fact she's doing it again, maybe she's had lessons, so who knows. Oh, by the way, yeah, the half face, that's a nod to John Romita Sr.'s very famous half face Spider-Man drawing from the 1970s, I believe. So that's a nice little Easter egg there, which I loved. Of course, this part here, right, Peter Parker's face, because you see there, he looks okay, and then suddenly he's like, oh my god! So is this Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock, aka the Devil of Hell's Kitchen, Daredevil? Well, it could be. I mean, look, the great thing about these kind of videos, these breakdowns, you got to have a bit of speculation, you got to have a bit of conspiracy theory going on, otherwise they just would not be interesting, will they? So it's got the build of Charlie Cox. It could be him. It could be a 90, and many might be complete. It could be Foggy Nelson, but then Foggy Nelson, from what I remember, is a lot shorter and a bit more portlier, isn't he? So yeah, I mean, even if it is Foggy Nelson, that's still, for me, that's kind of a win in some ways. But yeah, bringing in Charlie Cox into the MCU, if it's, well, you know what? If that happens, it's official. The Netflix superhero shows are now part, from Marvel, are now part of the MCU going forward. So I kind of dig that. Okay, yeah, this part here where they're walking into, yeah, I mean, this has all got connotations of social media. You know, your anonymity is no longer, you're no longer anonymous. You're very much in a public eye. So Tony Revolori, that's the actor I was thinking of, who played Flash Thompson. Why haven't we seen him yet? So I'm curious about that. And then of course we've got Aunt May and Peter, which is, yeah, I mean, they've got a Chinese takeaway here, it seems, because they like eating Chinese food, don't they? So we have to assume it's like their special night in as opposed to out. And, you know, the thing with, yeah, I wonder who that is coming through the door. So I'm curious to know who that was that makes them look so shocked. I don't expect any Tony Stark appearances. He's obviously dead anyway. Now, this bit here, which I did like, actually, when Peter sees the witches, the decorations, I'm assuming this is Halloween, so that's obviously sparked the idea he's got to go and see Doctor Strange, the Sorcerer Supreme. So yeah, that's really cool. Now, what I liked, now something struck me about Benedict Cumberbatch here. Okay, he just looks different, doesn't he? There's something that is off about him, like his hairstyle's different. He just looks older, obviously. Something about him is a bit off. Now, I've got a theory about this. Remember the guy from Iron Man 1 who couldn't build who couldn't build a suit in the cave, whereas Tony Stark could from scraps? And you know, he took away Mysterio's coding at the end, didn't he? He had that USB stick with all that coding. So is this Mysterio up to his old tricks again? Because, well, look, Peter Parker's tingle did not go off when he saw Doctor Strange. It seems like, you know, this is Doctor Strange. Nothing's off about him. So, but of course, this is only a very edited moment of the trailer, like all the moments are. So who knows what could be happening here? But I'm going to say this version of Doctor Strange, yeah, it's a version. It's not the true version. It's probably from another alternate reality. Remember again in Far From Home, Peter Parker was talking about the different dimensions. So this Doc could be from a different dimension. So bear with me on that one and see if that actually happens or not. I still think there's lots of misdirects in this trailer anyway. And of course, we've got this bit here where he's, okay, now there's lots of weird coding here, but I don't know what that actually is, if that means anything. Yeah, that looks like this thing here could be a Latin 3. I don't really know, but I thought that was that's pretty interesting actually. Okay, right. So people are speculating here that this could be Electro. That's true. It could be. I don't see why it could be. The Daily Bugle van is here as well. So maybe Electro is, and that's actually an outside broadcast van. So I'm assuming they're there because Electro might be causing havoc, or a portal is breaking and somebody's coming through. Because again, the one thing about this trailer, it just shows what's about to happen when Doctor Strange launches that spell. So it could be one of those things that when we get the second trailer, it's going to be more like what are the serious ramifications of his actions. He's doing it all for Peter, but the thing I'm wondering is if he can orchestrate a spell that will make everybody around Peter forget what actually happened. I'm assuming it won't affect Peter because the spell's not directed at him, it's for him. That's what I think the difference is. So just going a little bit forward, of course, we've got the return of Iron Spider. I think as well the suit might have had a few upgrades here and there, I'm not entirely sure. But that's the thing as well, you know, this version of Spider-Man, as much as I love him, he still feels like he's Iron Man 2.0. And, you know, I do agree with a really good mate of mine across the pond who said that the problem with the Spider-Man films that he has, these recent ones with Tom Holland, is that he doesn't feel like his own solo superhero. He has to be guided by a mentor. I understand that. And of course, I think the whole Iron Man Spidey thing is just it's a bounce off from the real life relationship between Tom Holland and Robert Downey Jr. because Downey Jr. is kind of a mentor to Holland. So I think they've kind of used that device for the characters here. That's all I think it is really. And yeah, now I think this lady here might be MJ's mother because we know MJ's not an orphan. She's never said she is. So I think that could be her. I mean, again, this is like Peter on top of a limo. So remember in Far From Home, he's got, oh, actually no, from Spider-Man Homecoming, he went to the prom there. So I don't know if he's going to the prom again or if it's something else, but that's a limo from the looks of it, because obviously towards the end he kind of gets on top of that. Now that's the George Washington Bridge. I don't know if it has any significance. It might have been the George Washington Bridge in Spider-Man 2 from 2004 with Tobey Maguire. It might be that one because it's funny enough, that's where he meets Doc Ock right here. Alfred Molina obviously looks a bit older. He's actually lost a little bit of weight here as well because in Spider-Man 2 he's a more fuller-faced dude, but they've de-aged him here slightly, but in de-aging him he looks a little bit thin in the face, so I'm not sure what's going on there. And his hairstyle is obviously different as well from that version, so I'll be curious to know where they're going with this one. And that's pretty much it, guys. So yeah, we've got an official date, December the 17th. It's in premium format. I'm assuming this is going to be at the IMAX. There's no way it can't be. So that's it, guys. Those are my quick thoughts and breakdowns today for Spider-Man No Way Home. Awesome trailer. And from what I've heard about CinemaCon, it's going to be awesome this week. It's going to be like stuff from Warner Brothers coming out. So I expect to see some Flash footage and some Batman footage maybe, although perhaps that's going to be rolled over to DC Fandom in October, which is like 2 months away. It's crazy. So yeah, there's going to be, I mean, Uncharted as well. That's the other Sony property. Apparently some footage was shown last night, and while some people think it's not enough to be a trailer. Tom Holland did say that we were going to get some sort of tease from Uncharted. I'm a big, massive Uncharted fan, so I've heard that what they've shown of Mark Wahlberg is pretty good. It'll probably allay some fans' fears about his portrayal of Sully, so I cannot wait to see that footage when it drops. And of course, when it does, I will give you a reaction to that one too. So guys, if you're new to my channel, don't forget to hit that like button, do subscribe, and I will bring out more content like this in the next few days, weeks, months, and years.
Like and subscribe, or get your nuts Krogan crushed.